Hey y'all, I'm Carolina Tony, and today I am here in Cheraw, South Carolina, the prettiest town in Dixie. I have filmed here before, but this is always the most beautiful time of year. The flowers are blooming, the azaleas are blooming. Pretty spectacular. And after this video, it will be easy for you to see why this is called the prettiest town in Dixie. And having said that, we'll go ahead and get started right after this station identification. This is a pink azalea. Here, travel back in time to Cheraw to the year 1540. Spanish explorer Hernando de Soto came briefly with his men to Cheraw, leaving the first written record of the area. The Cheraw and PD Indians settled on a high bluff over the PD, later known as Cheraw Hill. Now Laney Landing, right where we have the reenactment every year. That was around 1700. This is the old First Citizens Bank. It's one of the oldest banks in town. It has seen renovations over the years, but if you can look at the top of it, you can see part of the original bank. They actually used to make money here during the Confederacy. Cheraw United States Post Office. It sits on land that was donated to the post office by the Masons here in Cheraw. And during the Cold War, the basement served as a fallout shelter. During March of 1865, notorious General William T Sherman led his band of Federal or Union soldiers in his famous March to the Sea, burning most everything in his wake. Many towns, homes, and businesses were burned to the ground. Women and children died. He had no politeness about him. His idea was he wanted to win the war, even if it meant destroying anybody in his way. However, written in his memoirs by General Sherman himself, when he came to Cheraw, he coined the phrase, Cheraw, prettiest town in Dixie. And he did not burn Cheraw. There was some burning here, but it wasn't by his doing. So, ever since then, Cheraw has been known by the term prettiest town in Dixie. This is Old St. David's Church, was begun in 1770 and was in use by 1772. Here at Old St. David's Cemetery is the grave of Captain Moses Rogers. He died November the 11th, 1821. He was a commander of the SS Savannah, first steamship to cross the Atlantic in 1819. Captain Moses Rogers was born in New London, Connecticut. He passed away in Georgetown, South Carolina, and was originally buried there, but because of his love for Cheraw and the people that loved him, he was reinterred here in Cheraw, South Carolina. This is a wisteria vine, and they are beautiful when they bloom. They're blooming, but wisteria will take over and kill trees. A dogwood tree.
Pink.
This is a camellia.
Essential southern flower.
Look at this azalea. There are more than 20 varieties of azaleas native to South Carolina. And this is the oldest Confederate monument in the world. It was put here by the Ladies Auxiliary here in Cheraw in 1867 during federal occupation. In fact, if you read the inscription on the monument, it doesn't mention the Confederacy whatsoever. Just the brave men of the area. This is an interesting tree. This is called a white fringe tree or an American fringe tree, but look at the bloom on it. And Debbie told me to smell it, and it has got a unique smell. It really smells good. This is the grave of an officer of the 71st Fraser Highlanders who died in the summer of 1780. A captain from the French and Indian War, 1754 to 1763. Commissioner St. David's Parish, February 1770. Old St. David's was authorized by the General Assembly in 1768. Was the last parish established in Colonial, South Carolina, said to be buried in its churchyard as soldiers of the British forces occupied the Cheraws in 1780. The steeple and the vestibule of this Episcopal church were added in 1827, and services held here until the new church was built in 1916. Riverside Park, right on the banks of the Great Petee River, leads all the way to the ocean. It was in 1865 when General Sherman entered Cheraw that Confederates that were here made a retreat across the river. Now, during that time of year was a rainy season, and the river was out of its banks. Right in this area, right across here, actually right where I'm walking, is where an old wooden covered bridge was. Cheraw was as far up the Petee River as you could travel by steamboat. In fact, Cheraw has been coined in the past as Little Charleston because of the steam traffic and the imports and exports coming from Cheraw. A lot of farmers would bring their cotton and things like that here to be shipped to the coast and across the world. And there was a trolley system that went to the top of the hill to warehouses. And those warehouses are gone now. But I remember one being there. It burned by lightning probably about 40 years ago. Anyway, the Confederates made the retreat across the river and burned the bridge behind them, forcing General Sherman and his men to stay in the Cheraw area for 3 days. that is going to be a wrap for our trip to the prettiest town in Dixie, Cheraw, South Carolina, 2025 Spring Edition. If you enjoyed this video, give us a big old thumbs up. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. And if you have not yet subscribed, please do so. But until next time, y'all have a good day.